I, 29M, lost my wife 3 years ago. Started dating again, and new girlfriend, 32F, wants to visit my wife's grave. Original post. I am one of many who lost someone in that damn 2020. She was my world and we had our future all set up. She wanted children too by 2021, and then she was gone. I felt I had lost all sense of purpose, and after an agonizing year, moved away, not too far, but not close either. I didn't feel like I could breathe in that town. Still, every Saturday I get back and visit her resting place. I just functioned for about 2 years. I am not depressed or anything like that, but I just functioned. Until I met who we will call Ada last year. We started talking and hanging out together. She can be a bit haughty with people she doesn't know well, but I was surprised to find out how sweet and kind she is under the ice. She gave me something to look forward to again. She likes to do most of the talking herself, which is fine with me because I never know what to say. She knows everything about my wife, and this didn't discourage her. She knows I am doing therapy and still mourning, but she never left me alone. I asked her to tell me if anything I do or say makes her feel uncomfortable or like she's not a priority. She said that as of now I'm doing nothing of the sort. She knows what I do every Saturday morning, and never objected to it. But today she said she would like to meet her, as in accompany me in visiting her grave. I feel conflicted about this. On one hand I respect and feel touched by her wish, on other it feels weird, for a guy to take the new girlfriend where the first wife is buried. How should I approach this? Is it too soon? Should I ask her to wait for that? TLDR, I am a widower who started dating. Girlfriend wants to visit my wife's grave and I have conflicting feelings about it. Relevant comments. Your wife would want you to continue with your life, especially since Ada wants to integrate her into your relationship. Yes, we talked many times that we both wanted the other to be happy if one of us passed on. Never thought it'd actually happen. Ada has been nothing but respectful and tactful when I talk about her or show her things and pictures. Oop clarifies when he visits his wife. To clarify, I don't do anything dramatic like talking to her grave or crying my eyes out when I visit. I just keep it clean, water the flowers and replace the dead ones, check the wear and tear on the stone, and clean the glass with her picture. Oop adds another comment with details. Some details I have left out from the post. Ada and I met last April, and we hit it off immediately. We are not currently living together and we divide pure time between our places, but we are planning on sharing a home permanently. She has been clear she would like our relationship to blossom into something long time, and she is fine with a long engagement before the eventual marriage. She is very clear and no bullshit about what she wants and needs, but at the same time she is patient and understanding. I love this woman and I want to make her happy. More on Ada. Ada is a very headstrong and determined person, but on this I find a patience and a kindness in her that are close to infinite. She doesn't get upset when I'm a bit sad or thinking about my late wife, she understands. When we first started sleeping in the same bed I shared with her, it felt a little weird and also a bit like I was cheating on my late wife. Again, no anger or upset on her part. She said she would probably feel the same if she was in my shoes. Update. I talked about this with my therapist. She feels that based on what she knows about Ada and the way she always behaved about this, that bringing her to my wife's grave will probably be a positive thing. I told Ada that if she feels like it, I'd be glad to take her with me this Saturday. She was happy to hear this. She usually works on Saturday mornings, but said she'd take the morning off for me. I feel a bit of an emotion I can't define about this, but I think it will be a good thing. Update 2. Some additional info and an update. Some Redditors and some people around us were worried that my relationship with Ada is just a rebound. I admit is something that I too was worried about, and Ada told me she didn't have long-lasting expectations at first. We began dating in April 2023, but as things progressed and she saw my intentions are serious and I'm committed, her doubts about me were gone. She says we are made of the same stuff, we are two loyal, committed and hardworking people and she wants a future with me. And so do I. We are looking for a new place to share and I'm looking for the ring to make my proposal. I admit that one of my biggest concerns is that I don't want to take advantage of her goodwill, even unintentionally. Her kindness and patience are near infinite, but I told her I don't want our relationship to be all about my past, it would not be fair for her. She reassured me she doesn't feel taken advantage of and that I do a lot to make her feel loved and appreciated for who she is, but at the same she recognizes this is a part of me she's willing to accept to be with me. To my surprise, everyone approves of us, my parents, Ada's parents, and my late wife's mother. We never got any backlash. On the update. I talked about this with my therapist. She feels that based on what she knows about Ada and the way she always behaved about this, that bringing her to my wife's grave will probably be a positive thing. So I told Ada that if she feels like it, I'd be glad to take her with me this Saturday. She was happy to hear this. She usually works on Saturday mornings, but said she'd take the morning off for me. However, I had unexpected things come up for tomorrow. I have to cover for a sick coworker, which means I'll be taken all morning and great part of the afternoon. It happens, and when it happens I either go on Friday or Sunday. I decided to go this afternoon. We are in Europe, it's evening here, and asked Ada if she wanted to come along, and she readily agreed. We didn't talk much during the drive. When we arrived, we made our way to my wife's tombstone and I just said, well, here she is. I fetched the water for the flowers and start my usual routine. Ada just crouched as if to examine it. Then she just helped me with the caretaking routine, removing the dead leaves and flowers, and cleaning the picture and the light. We then took a walk around the cemetery. Might sound weird, but it's not unusual here as many cemeteries double as parks here, then sat outside for a smoke before the drive back. We talked a bit, and Ada, who's quite the stoic, got a little emotional. She was happy I had let her in on such what for me is a particularly intimate and sacred place, but also shaken because after all the talking we had done of my late wife she subconsciously thought of her as someone she'd want to meet and be friends with, but seeing the grave reminded and cemented the fact that this amazing woman is gone. It was a bit of shaking for me too seeing her tearing up, since she's the most stoic woman I've ever met, but also made me think how this woman is a rare gem. I don't doubt that in different circumstances, my late wife and Ada would have been great friends. And I'm a very lucky guy for finding not one, but two amazing women which gave and still give my life meaning every day. TLDR I brought my girlfriend to my late wife's grave, and things went well. One last comment from Oop. I wish to thank all you guys for the beautiful comments, the well wishes and love you have poured on me, Ada and my late wife. Despite the tragedy and pain I endure, I feel extremely lucky and blessed to have found another chance at life and not two wonderful, beautiful, intelligent and amazing women that give meaning to it. I just want to say that whenever you are suffering, even if life seems to be a dark void, there is always a light and there is always another way forward. I think my husband's mistress thinks he is richer than he actually is. My best friend thinks I am a douche because I'm keeping silent. Original post. Husband in because we are not married legally. Throwaway. Please let me vent here. He 39, me 39, mistress 29, best friend 39. We have been together for 14 years. Living together for 11. He came and told me that he was in love about 3 weeks ago. I was surprised at the lack of I had to give it receiving such information. I did love him, but maybe my love has always been conditional and its survival depends on it being reciprocated because it literally vanished the second he confessed to me that he was in love with another woman. He didn't want a separation but to maybe open the relationship or let his feelings for her subside. I said it was over. It was like I never had feelings for him ever. He was taken aback by my indifference, which I thought, the audacity. Did he want me to be hurt and suffer? I told him that he should be relieved that he didn't cause pain. Instead, he has been sulking since. Last Friday I got home and mistress was there. Sitting in my kitchen sipping my tea. I felt nauseous because seriously? I told them that this wasn't civil at all and to never be in my home again or I would call the cops. I went to my room and I heard her yelling at him for not standing up for her. Then I heard her say something very curious, why haven't you kicked her out yet? He was trying to tell her to lower her voice, whispering, later. We can discuss this later. She left and he came to me apologizing. He said, we didn't have sex here if this is what you are scared of. She just dropped by because I was working from home today. I told him that he had until the end of March to move out and to find somewhere to be during the weekends. This morning I changed all the locks. From now on he isn't allowed in my place during my working hours, so if he starts later or finishes earlier, he needs to wait for me to come home and let him in. But his mistress's words stuck with me, so during the weekend I have been stalking her social media. I think she thinks that he is rich. Or at least that he owns my apartment. I think she also thinks that my parents' summer house and boat are his. Unfortunately the loser has taken her there, probably bragging about his wealth because her hashtags were all about the good life. I was telling my best friend all of this, but she was more agitated than indignant on my behalf. She told me that he was a scum not telling mistress the truth. I agreed, IKR. But then she said I was no better not explaining to her his situation either. I was dumbfounded, but she was serious. I told her that it wasn't my job to bring back mistress to earth. My best friend got very angry and demanded that I gave her mistress's username so that she could warn her. No. I said. She called me a bigger douche than he is then. I don't know what's going on with these people. Have they gone mad or have I? When did our moral compass go ask you like this? Can someone tell me that I am not insane? Relevant comments. Jessamine, arugula. Your husband is twisted. He told you in the first place so to light a fire under your toes to make you fight for him or something. Rekindle your passion or something. He's not being discreet to get a reaction from you. And since that fell through, it'll be great when he's not living at the places the mistress came around to scope out. Your friend? Give her a couple more feet of space because she's not looking out for you, RN. Oop. I truly think that cheating was taking a toll on him, so he told me he wanted to open the relationship. He didn't admit at first that he already cheated. I don't know what to rekindle. We have had a very passionate and, at least on my part, loving relationship with lots of sex, but I can't make him love me or not fall for someone else. He is very sad now and crying all the time. I have never seen him cry before. It is awful because I feel guilty, but at the same time I don't feel guilty. I told him to seek mental help. Maybe he needs to sort out his feelings. But far away from me. Shouldn't he be over the moon now? Being newly in love? I remember nothing would make me cry when I was newly in love with him. Nothing could go wrong. Now he is sullen and morose all the time. Disastrous _ 8561. Nope, not wrong. Get rid of him and wash your hands. Your bestie sounds delusional. Oop. Phew, because I thought something was wrong with me when she got upset. Top a neighbor Rex. You should question why your friend wants to side with the mistress, instead to support you, her friend. Oop. Believe me, I have questioned and speculated. I think her marriage started in a similar fashion to the mistress. Sometimes you're friends for so long, 35 years in my case, because you've known them your entire life, you don't see how different you are as people. Update. I hate a showdown with my former best friend. I did it. I had a showdown with my former best friend via text, and I confronted her about her non-existent support when I went to her with my woes. I told her that she concentrated on the wrong issue. She should have been my shoulder to cry in. She should have shown up with wine, ice cream and a shovel, but instead, she called me a bigger douche than my husband. She tried to gaslight me, and I realized that she's always been a good gaslighter, so I interrupted her before she made me out to be the villain. I asked her bluntly, was her husband's name married when you started sleeping together? You told us that he was married before, we all knew that, but we all were under the impression that he was married and divorced before you two met, but was he still married? Is that why you related to the mistress and felt sympathy for her? Because you were her? She didn't answer me until next day to call me a bitter and jealous. This was the last one-on-one interaction with her, I have decided. She's been my friend since preschool, but now we need to go our separate ways, not only to save us from future hurt but also to save our memories together from hurt. I talked to my husband too and asked him not to make the separation difficult and bitter, that it ruins all the happiness we felt being together because we cannot think back on January 3rd of our lives with resentment. I asked him to take my dad's offer. He offered to help him find a lease on an apartment and pay half year's rent if he moved out without giving me problems. When I got home, he and his clothes were gone. He left an apology letter saying that he will always love me and never meant to hurt me. So I have finally been able to cry my eyes out, and it felt so good. I have been crying since I got home. I lost two of my closest people, but this is what happens when we hit hardships. We see people's true faces. This is my update. I don't know if anything major will happen to make more updates. It is time for me to move on. The guy I did homework for in high school reached out and now wants to buy me a house. Original post. I've, 29F, always been good with numbers and responsable. It was more noticeable in school cause no one gave a fuck. But given that I have CP, cerebral palsy, and walk with crutches plus being a nerd, you can imagine I was an extremely easy target for bullying. One year they mixed us, so I had new classmates. The bullying was worse, but then one of the popular guys would defend me. At first I was confused, but when I saw that he would leave me his notebooks I understood. And so began our symbiotic relationship. The bullying stopped and I would make his homework every day. We never talked about it, and whenever he spoke to me he sounded angry. It was like that for almost 3 years, and his grades went up. I was just grateful I could be at peace in school. We graduated and never spoke again, nor did I see him again. But then a week ago he reached out on Instagram. He told me how good life had been for him. He offered to buy me a house and a car. At first I thought it was a scam, but we made video calls. He showed me things and it's legit. Long story short, he is a successful businessman worth millions living abroad. He said he always remembered me cause I helped him get where he is now. He said he wanted to repay me, cause he knew how hard it is to be disabled and a woman in my country specifically. He's not wrong, but I'm actually doing okay RN, so I declined all his offers. But then I received a call from a medical center, the most expensive where I live mind you, saying I had 3 years of physical therapy paid for. How he knew I did physical therapy, I still thought it was a joke, so I went there and it was true. I already did my first 2 sessions and my body feels so much better. I'm still? Cause I saw our relationship as purely transactional and now he comes and says he owes me? I'm so confused. Edit 1, damn, I wasn't expecting this many replies. Thank you all for your kind words, it made me understand a little how he may feel. I already texted him so we can talk a little bit more about his offers, cause even though I turned them down, he said they'd still be up, and hopefully I can have a hand on the wheel to choose some less crazy expensive options. Thank you again, I feel less guilty now. Edit 2, thank you for your kind words, I'm trying to read all the comments. And as for the creeps in my DMs, fuck off, I'm not some kind of freak show only cause I have CP. Relevant comments. Fustorious Octo. That's a nice gesture, you should take it and be thankful, don't turn down on somebody who is trying to be kind. Seemingly with not ill intent. Oop. It's an amazing gesture, but I don't really feel like I did something worthy of such gratitude. Datame 206b. Only he knows how impactful your homework was on his life, even beyond grades. Glad the PT is helping already. I hope he extends it. Oop. I mean, I guess you could say we both impacted each other? It was thanks to him that the bullying stopped and school was nice again. But I never stopped to think how that impacted my life for the better. It's only now I realize how grateful I am for what he did. I'm so embarrassed it took this long to register. Nate, Quarry. I had a friend offer to do something nice for me and I declined. His response changed my POV forever. He said, "You don't get to decide whether or not I get to do things for people that make me happy." And I realized, it wasn't just for me. It made him happy and feel like he's making the world a better place. Oop. Thanks for the quote, it's very much true. I guess I just have a hard time accepting gifts. Update. Given all the support and kindness I received on the other post, I'd like to let you guys know the resolution. We did another video call where I explained to him why I was hesitant to accept and told him all my doubts and fears about the whole ordeal. I was completely honest, which surprised me, to be honest. He also opened up to me and told me some sensitive stuff, which I would have never imagined. At the end we agreed that he would finish paying the car I had just started paying through a credit. And also we found a little nice apartment in a good zone where I could be more comfortable. I have my own lawyer doing all the paperwork. Thanks all kind people for the suggestion. I tried to express all my gratitude and I hope he really understood how big this was for me. Also, I got to thank him for protecting me in school and tried to make him see how big of an impact it had on my life. I feel like this closed a chapter in my life and I think it's the same for him. I don't think we'll ever talk again, nor do I think we are friends. He truly lives in another world and our realities are not compatible. He did say though, if I ever go to his country, not the US lol, I should call him to meet. I don't know if I would. At the end I'm just happy to see him so accomplished after all that happened in high school. And I'm happy I could express all my feelings and thoughts. Thank you for all your supportive words. They meant a lot to me and helped me make a decision.